Hi, welcome guys, it's Mike Newton here at Lytham Golf Academy, and I've got a driving iron head-to-head here for you with two real sort of crackers in my opinion. And we've got the Titleist new 718 TMB, okay, 2 iron. I'm going to put that up against the PXG 0311X iron. Okay, so I've just done a review of the, or both of these irons to be honest, on my channel recently, so you can go and check those out for more individual in-depth look at each of these irons. But I'm going to put these up head-to-head with each other here. Now they're both 2 irons, both 17 degrees of loft. Okay, now the Titleist one obviously isn't forged, okay, but it's a multi-material head here with a lot of tungsten in there, hollow design. So looking at forgiveness, but obviously high ball speeds. Similar with a PXG here, but this one is forged. It's a hollow head. We've got again some tungsten screws in there. Little bit maybe of a you probably just see there of a fatter sole there with a PXG, so a little bit more of a bulkier back on it. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an idea of what they look like behind the golf ball, a little bit of feedback on feel. And obviously we've got GC2 HMT set up here, and I've set myself up on the first hole at Royal Birkdale. So I think these 2 irons are more for probably the linksy style of golf course where you can get it coming out a little bit lower, maybe the windier course, get it running and releasing a little bit. So put myself on the first hole at Royal Birkdale here, which you remember back from the Open this year, a lot of guys were hitting irons off the tee, quite a tight hole, a bit more of a positional play with an iron off the tee. Okay, so we'll get underway. I've hit some shots. We'll start off with the Titleist first, then we'll move on to the PXG. Right, so Titleist in our hands here, as I say, this is 17 degrees. Now we're seeing quite a slim sort of top line here, and just and so seeing a little bit of the sort of bulky bit of the back just sticking out from that top edge. But it's not a massive amount there, still quite a sort of neat sort of look as it presented down by the ball. Bit of offset on there, so we'll get this first one hit. That's a good strike, very piercing ball flight. That's going to be running really nicely down there. Yeah, wow, and that's getting out at 261 with the run out there, so really coming in quite low, firing, which is very typical what I think we're going to see with these types of golf clubs here. But it's quite a loud sound I felt there. Obviously it's not forged, so you know maybe possibly we're going to see some softer feel with a PXG against that, but that's purely because that's forged and this isn't. Yeah, again, not the purest of strikes, but good enough there. Beautiful straight ball flight. Find that fairway again, yeah, so just dropping off a tiny bit, 253 run out there. Didn't quite get the strike then, I felt that, but still felt really controllable, still seeing that sort of low ball flight. It's perfect for today. We've got quite a wet, windy day down here at Lytham Golf Academy. So apologies if the volume or the sound isn't quite perfect. You might hear a bit of wind noise, but so it's, you know, as I see it go out on the play field here, it's definitely sort of quite penetrating. The wind isn't affecting this as much. Oh, right, just pushed that one a little bit there. Strike was great, just pushed up the right, just found just the right hand rough there, 242. Obviously not running out much there because it's hitting the rough. Okay, so we're just going to hit one more with the Titleist. Super strike, really again piercing. Oh, I've caught that bunker. Right, so obviously I've got a strong crosswind here, and that looked obviously held up as I visually saw that in the wind, but obviously the simulator, the software doesn't pick up the wind out there, so obviously that's seen it draw off a little bit. So that's just missed that, just hit that bunker slightly on the right, but again, really good strike, nice sort of piercing ball flight. So hit the fairway with 2 shots, missed it with 2, so 50-50 split there. Okay, so let's move over to PXG and then we'll hit 4 shots with that. Okay, so we've got the PXG in our hands here now. So again, 2 iron, 17 degrees here now. So put that down by the golf ball. Again, the look's really good, but definitely seeing more of the back or that chunky part of the sole here sticking out from that top edge. More so than the Titleist here. So, I mean, that doesn't bother me. It just feels like there's more weight at the bottom and pull back. It probably makes it, to me, feel like it's going to be easier to launch actually. But you know, that might put some people off. Again, it's a bit more of a personal thing, but I think the look of it there is really, really nice. That little bit of offset. The top edge is definitely a little bit thicker than the Titleist, and we'll see more of that back sticking out at the back of the golf club there. But let's get this first one hit here. Okay, that wasn't a bad opening shot. Not the perfectest strikes there. Little bit toe side, yeah, just dropped off a little bit. 244 there. Yeah, that feels superb. Hit that one really well. Felt really good strike, great ball flight. Hitting that fairway. Yeah, running out 254 there. That felt really good off the club face. Definitely a softer feel off that than the Titleist there. Definitely not as loud in the sound there either. That felt incredible. I think the feel off that is very, very good. Feels really good, soft, very easy to use. Run out 252, it's a good distance there. Again, hitting the fairway, seems to just get a little bit more accuracy with this possibly. Maybe not quite as much distance maybe with Titleist. We'll look at that in a little bit more detail, but the feel of that feels superb. Okay, so we're going to hit one more with a PXG. Let's see if we can make this 100% of fairways hit here with this one. Oh, feels awesome that. So easy to hit. I think I have, yeah, another fairway hit there, so 100% fairways, 249, so not the longest, but I'm hitting the short stuff here. Okay, so let's have a look at some numbers in a little bit more detail between those two clubs. Right, let's look at some numbers, guys. So we'll look at ball speed here. So 144.9 with the Titleist, 144.1 with PXG, so virtually identical on average on terms of ball speed. See, that first one, the PXG, was a bit of a weak one. Let's drop that off a little bit on the averages there. Launched there, touch higher with PXG, pretty identical to be honest, which is probably my typical launch with 2-iron. A little bit on the low side possibly, but I don't mind that for the flight that I'm trying to maybe achieve. Looking at spin number, backspin, so 2943 against 34. So PXG just spinning about 500 revs more there, which I probably prefer a little bit, because otherwise it can get a little bit too flat. And I sort of saw that maybe with the Titleist one, which is going to get it out running massively. But you see, like the first one there, I struck it pretty well. 2.5 spins. The spin's quite low. It only peaks out at 20 yards there, but it runs a long way. So that's a good scenario for the links type of course there. So it's never a bad thing, but maybe I'd just like to flight it a little bit more possibly. So looking at peak heights, you see the Titleist's average was 22, that was 24 with PXG. So not a lot in it, still both on quite on the low side. So both penetrating irons here, which is, again, for that links golf course is perfect. So 231 carry against 228. We won't look at run out because obviously I missed 2 fairways with the Titleist iron there, so obviously that's going to affect the run out on the numbers, but carry distance 231, 228, virtually identical there. Okay guys, so there we go. Two powerful driving irons there from two of the big brands really, with Titleist and PXG. Now obviously one is forged, one isn't forged, but they're both hollow designed. They're both sort of trying to do the same sort of job in terms of that sort of high ball speed, that sort of low launch, but still got that bit of forgiveness, you know, with the tungsten there, the hollow head. There's a lot of forgiveness in there, and I think that's where these obviously are more popular now, and they see these fashions of these driving irons coming back in. There's a lot of brands doing them now, and obviously a lot easier to hit than a traditional 2-iron. Okay, but you're getting a bit of that forgiveness of what you see in a hybrid, but that lower launch that you see with an iron. Okay, so again, it goes back to possibly that windy golf course you're playing on. You might want to see this flight come down. The hybrid just goes a bit too high and gets caught up in the wind, and that's obviously where these driving irons really sort of come into their own. So I think if it was me personally choosing between these two, it's a tough one because the numbers are pretty much the same, aren't they? Maybe a little bit more spin with the PXG. If I go on looks, I probably like the sleeker look of the Titleist, but then again I don't mind the PXG because I've seen that bit more of the back there, and I know that will put a lot of people off, but it gives me a little bit of confidence boost in a way that I've got a bit more sort of meat behind the ball, if that makes sense. Feel wise, easily for me, it's PXG because it's forged. It feels softer. It's not as loud, not as harsh, maybe as the feel off the ball comes off the club face. That's personal, you know. So for me, probably just edging PXG in terms of the confidence inspiring, ease of use, the softness of the feel. Okay, but ultimately two very good sort of irons. So definitely, if you're in the market of driver irons, these are two to definitely go out and test yourselves. Okay guys, thanks very much for watching. I do appreciate watching the videos. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Follow me on social media platforms, links are down in the description below, and hopefully I'll catch up with you all very soon.